So we've been lucky enough to do a pretty good job with our SEO, and if you were to search video production Washington, D.C. or some variation of that in Google, we would come either 1, 2, or 3, but we would be in the top half of the first page, and what that results in is a lot of people reaching out to us through our website and asking us to kind of put together an estimate or a bid for their video. And a lot of times, you know, they're marketers, and a lot of times it's just one sentence. It's, hey, I have this video, how much would this cost? And I know that, you know, they're reaching out to 8 or 10 different folks, and they're just kind of doing it quickly. And so what I wanted to do this section just so that you might have more idea of what you want to communicate to the video production team, whether that's an internal department or a vendor like us, which will help them out through the process. Because, you know, this will help with the budget phase, but more importantly, it will help with the creative strategy. The very first thing, and it applies to video marketing just as it applies to all other things in marketing, is who is your audience? Are they aware of you? Are they not aware of you? Are they your client? Are they your employee? And once you have that picked out, this goes back to the question that we had before. What are those themes that we really want to get across? We don't want to pick 5 or 10 or 20 themes. We really want to hone in on maybe 1 or 2 major themes and make sure that that resonates with the viewer. So once we have that, it's what is the style of this video going to be? Is this going to be narrative? Are we going to use actors? Is this going to be documentary style? A lot of times in corporate it is documentary style. It's very expensive to get into actors and kind of all the things that encompass. Once you've kind of made all these different decisions, you know, you might be struggling. You might say, I'm not exactly sure what I want to do. I'm not sure if I want to do it narrative or if I want to do motion graphics. You can look back in your archive, you can look back at other projects you've done in the past and say, this really worked well. Maybe you look to your competition. What are they doing? What are you seeing in pop culture? If someone were to send us something from a movie they had seen or a TV show or just a super popular YouTube series, we can replicate that. And a lot of people can replicate that. It really helps to get the idea generation going as to which route you want to go. And we talked about this before. Where is this ultimately going to live? This is incredibly important. Is it going to be web? Is it going to be mobile? If it's going to be web, you know, skipping ahead to this next thing, you're probably going to want to keep it shorter. Most everything is in the web is 90 seconds, 120 seconds. You've heard that many times before. That's not new. You know, in television, your normal segment's about 7 minutes long. Your TV commercials are in 30-second increments. But then even more so than that, it's okay, if we're doing this for mobile primarily, then we need to make sure that this is filling up the screen, that we're not going to use a bunch of wide shots. We're not going to use landscape shots. And so these are just, you know, I'm just giving you a sampling of the many, many reasons why it's important to know where this is ultimately going to live. If you're in marketing, you're dealing with a lot of vendors, not just video production. And so you're negotiating quite a bit with these vendors, and I know it's not always in your best interest to kind of share, you know, this is what my budget is. I will tell you from personal experience that if you can give some kind of framework, if you can say on the low end, here's where our budget is, on the high end, here's it is, then we can reverse engineer that. And we can say, all right, well, on the low end, we're going to do X, Y, Z, and at this price point, you know, that the high end, we're going to add these additional steps. And just from working with lots and lots of folks and looking at what is our best work and what happened in that, I would say a lot of times we were on the same page as the client in terms of budget going right into it. You know, similarly, if you have a sample that you really like, you're like, hey, this is what my competition is doing. How much do you think they spent on that? It's pretty easy for us to figure out what they spent on that and kind of reverse engineer it.